mics real quick.
First baseman, number 28, Benji Cazares. Batting eighth, the designated hitter, number 13, Dominic Felix. And batting ninth, the left fielder, number 19, Antonio Avila.
And welcome to a brand new broadcast for the Newton Sluggin Rebels. I'm Jared Obleckner. To my right is Scott Hogan. And today the Sluggin Rebels continue their final game of the series against the Kingman Islanders. As, oh, sorry, I got my monitor on. But we'll take a quick break and get you everything going as we have the national anthem coming up. And, we'll be right back.
And a very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. At this time, will you please stand? Remove your hats and direct your attention to the American flag flying tonight in deep center field as we honor America with the singing of our national anthem. The singing of our national anthem by Amy Ives, Director of Choral Music at Newton High School, and her daughter Eva. Now let's
And
go out
welcome
to
back.
the field.
Sorry. And welcome back to the
We will have a wonderful
broadcast
first pitch
as
here
we'll
this
get our
evening.
starting lineups right out the way. So for the Newton Sluggin Rebels,
Pitcher's mound is where
we got
they are standing,
leading off is
and
Jordy
we welcome
Lopez. He's going to be starting at
James
shortstop.
Alexander. They are
Isu Heiche, I forgot how we say that.
Su Hache.
Suhache is going to be at second. Titan Gable at center field. Cole Myers at third. Franklin at right field. Jackson Haynes behind the plate. Benji Cazares at first. Dominic Felix playing DH today. Antonio Avila is going to be at left field, and pitching today is going to be Jared Newton. He doesn't have that many stats for the Sluggin Rebels this season, but he did play at Newton. He did play his junior year at Newman. His stats that I got right here is 14 innings pitched with a 9.6 ERA. He's got 9 Ks on 15 earned runs. So, what I remember about Jared Newton last year is he was a great option, great second or third option that we had out of the bullpen. Really excited to see what he does here.
He actually does have 3 2/3 innings thrown in one game so far this summer. It was a good outing. No runs allowed. Struck out 2, did walk 2, but they're hoping, of course, to get maybe 4 or 5 innings out of Newton tonight, and which I think you really liked. Of course, you liked the win yesterday. People that didn't follow the game in Kingman, it was a 12-7 win last night for the Sluggin Rebels, 12 runs on 12 hits, but you really liked what they did on the mound yesterday as they got Zach Gillig went 6 innings. He did give up 5 runs on 8 hits, just 2 were earned, 4 strikeouts, but he only walked 1, and then total pitches or batters walked by Rebel pitching 2. And that was the huge issue here on Thursday evening was the double figures. I think they ended up 10 or 11 walks combined pitching, and that put them in that big hole early, and they just never could get out of it. So that's exactly what they want to see out of Jared Newton tonight. Just, throw strikes. If they get hits, they get hits.
Yeah, and today's a beautiful day out here in Centennial Park, Klein Scott Field. But now we got Bradley Neal. He's going to be first up to bat for the Kingman Islanders.
Yeah, Neal playing center field. Didn't play last night. 429 in the 3 games he has played as far as an average, 2 out of 7. Does have a couple of doubles. Of course, he's the Buhler High School product, so very familiar face as our first pitch. Coming right at 7 o'clock. Is going to be up and in for ball 1. We are underway, so it'll be Bradley Neal, Ben Wallachek, Gavin Roy here in the top half of the first inning. Fastball pulled into left field. It's going to be a leadoff single. And bobbling it momentarily, but Avila able to hold Neal to a single. So that's a good start for the Islanders. It's not a real hot day, but you can feel the heaviness in the air out there. They're saying maybe 10, 11 o'clock. We should get the game in before everything rolls in tonight. We will hope for that as the shortstop Ben Wallachek steps in. He went 1 for 2 yesterday. Inside fastball misses down and in for ball 1. Wallachek did play here on Thursday night. And on the season right now has had a lot of at-bats. He's 7 for 30. So he's pretty much one of the regulars, and he'll look at that fastball for strike 1. It's 1-1. And we got probably what you would consider partly to mostly cloudy skies. A lot of clouds off to our south and west as they will toss over, keep track of Neal, who does have 1 stolen base on the season. Of course, a multi-sport athlete. Very good football player also at Buhler High School. 1-1. Nice breaking pitch, apparently missing. I'm going to have to assume up.
Yeah, that was a close one right there, but can't argue with the umps.
Well, you can, but it usually doesn't get you anywhere.
Doesn't get you anywhere, yeah. It would get you nothing but trouble.
And the fastball, that definitely up out of the zone. So 3-1 on Wallachek. Neal at first with the leadoff single. Nice crowd on hand this evening. Field in fantastic shape. All the fields out here are very, very well maintained here in Centennial Park. There's a high chopper at a third charging in. Myers will get the force at second and hit way too slowly to think about a double play, but nice job to get the lead runner, Neal, on the fielder's choice.
That was a great decision by Myers right there. You know, it was just way too slow of a ball to try and turn double play, but get that force out at second.
And it was a nice job. So a lot of third basemen would have went to first on that, but he glanced and he knew he had a chance and did get the lead runner, which brings to the plate third baseman Gavin Roy. And that time the breaking pitch in there for strike 1. Roy ended up 1 for 5 yesterday evening there in Kingman. On the season, 6 out of 17, has driven in 5. And gets out of the way there on a fastball that tailed inside. It's 1-1.
Roy did have that 3-run homer the other night here in Klein Scott Field, and that was very detrimental as that runner takes off. And
oh man, got a great jump. And the breaking pitch was in there for strike 2, so Kingman gets the first runner into scoring position with 1 down. In the top half of the first, a 1-2 count on Gavin Roy. Yeah, that was a line drive. We had 2 homers here. It was a much different hit, but they both got the job done. Almost got him to chase it. Good breaking pitch off the plate and sliding over. Haynes behind the plate. Nice job to keep it down in front of him.
Those are the pitches I like. Those 1-2 counts, trying to get him swinging, looking stupid on those swings, but didn't bite on that one.
Now the 2-2 went fastball, and it's chopped back, and it'll stay at 2-2. We mentioned Haynes behind the plate. We set your defense. Myers at third, Lopez at short, Pache at second, and Cazares at first, with Avila in left, Gable in center, and Franklin in right field. Franklin out there kind of baking in the sun right now. It's very humid out there. He'll get that evening sun in his face as well. Oh, I pulled the trigger there. That was getting Roy way out on his front foot. A swing and a miss for the second out of the inning. And first strikeout for Jared Newton.
That strikeout was sponsored by Mark Fox, your local JP Weingate realtor. Focus on bringing you home.
So now 2 down, with Wallachek out at second for Jesus Cruz, who really beat the ball around last night. Went 3 for 4, drove in 3 of the 7. Now they got the runner stranded in a rundown, and now everybody filling in behind. And now they will tag the runner out, so a pickoff, and facing the minimum here in the first inning.
Great job right there from Newton, recognizing he took a really big lead right there and just got him froze up. Way to end the inning right there.
So the pickoff ends the inning, and we'll head to the home half of the first. No score with the Sluggin Rebels coming up, and we'll take a quick timeout, and we'll be back with the Sluggin Rebels lineup after this break.
And welcome back to the bottom of the first inning. As their score is still 0-0, but now the Islanders are on defense, and they got Bradley Neal playing center field, Ben Wallachek at shortstop, Gavin Roy playing third, Jesus Cruz at second, Vanderwald at catcher, Dan Taylor, which we haven't seen yet, at first, Nolan Friend at left field, and Malish at right field with Xander Roberts pitching right here.
And Jordy Lopez, a shortstop, steps in. He'll take a breaking pitch for strike one. Lopez last night ended up 1 for 5, drove in a couple of runs. And see if he can set the table. He takes that time down and in. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. A very busy Xander Roberts so far. This is his 4th start of the summer. And he's thrown 16 1/3 innings already. Ground ball sharply hit, but right at the second baseman, Jesus Cruz. He tosses over to first for out number 1, and it'll bring to the plate the second baseman, Su Hache. And he had a great game last night, 4 for 6. Also driving in a couple of runs. Actually, the first 3 batters in the lineup tonight drove in 6 of the 12 last night for the Rebels. There's another chopper right side, and it's going to be Cruz again. Little soft toss. So he's recorded the first 2 outs here in the home half of the first. And it'll bring up Titan Gable, the center fielder. As you're going to go lefty, lefty, lefty here for the Rebels, and Gable also a nice game last night, 2 for 5, drove in a couple. Series tied at 1 game apiece. And another, it's kind of the slow curve there, strike 1. Newton comes in 4 and 5 overall, and they're 2 and 5 in the Jayhawk. Kingman 2 and 8, 1 and 8 in Jayhawk play. That's down and in to Gable. 1 ball, 1 strike, base is empty. And 2 down, bottom half of the first here in Newton. And a little chopper, that should stay foul and does down the third baseline. So it's 1-2. Also on the docket tonight, Hayesville is in Hutchison and Great Bend visiting Derby. And you got 7 teams, so obviously somebody's got to be off every night. Now a little kind of a quick pitch. Here's one pulled into right center field. And fighting off the sun, Malish will make the play. And it is a very quick 1-2-3 home half of the first. So we head on to the second. No score between the Islanders and the Sluggin Rebels. Before we head to break, I want to tell you our first inning was brought to you by CRM Lawn Care here in Newton. They mow, weed eat, and edge your lawn to perfection. Call CRM Lawn Care today at 316-282-2666. We'll be back for the second after this break on Sluggin Rebel Baseball.
And welcome back to the top of the second now, as this second inning is being brought to you by Arma Coatings of Wichita Incorporated, local leaders in industrial and commercial spray foam insulation, spray foam roofing, and air barrier projects. Arma makes buildings better. Visit armacoatingswichita.com or call 316-755-9100 today.
Well, Jesus Cruz gets his second look at Jared Newton. He was in the box when a pickoff occurred. He's going to hit a slow roller right side. This is going to be a close play. They flip, and an errant flip is going to head into the dugout. And Cruz will go down to second on what probably will be ruled an error. I think a good toss probably gets him. So I think you probably have to rule that an error. And the second straight inning, the Islanders are going to have a man in the scoring position. However, this time it is the leadoff man. So Blake Russell, the DH, going to have a crack at it. He did not play last night. I believe he also DH'd. Let me double check. Yes, he DH'd on Thursday night here. Russell right now is 4 for 19.
Drew an RBI Thursday. Had 2 strikeouts.
He's going to show bunt, trying to get the sac fly into play. Bunts it. And actually, I think he may have missed it as it ended up in the glove of Haynes. It was either off the hop or he completely missed it. So strike 1. So a little small ball here. Kingman trying to advance Cruz down to third. So that'll get Myers in. And you got a lot of moving pieces when you got a man at second and a bunt.
Still showing bunt. There's that foul off.
Did he get it? No, they're going to say he did not and did not offer at it. They will call that ball 1.
I don't know what I'm hearing in my headphones then.
1 ball and 1 strike. And of course, much easier to bunt with the wooden bat than it is the aluminum bat, which of course that's an all wooden bat summer league. You see that a lot in college. I tell you, the teams that can get those bunts down usually are the more successful teams. It is deaden it so much easier with the lumber out there than you can with the steel. And the 1-1, he went after and missed that one, so that will take the bunt out of the equation with now a 1-2 count.
Speaking about aluminum versus wooden bats, I was watching the Florida game last night, and it's crazy to see these home runs. They're like, 470, and like, that's crazy. But you gotta realize it's an aluminum bat, and I think that ball travels a lot farther.
Pickoff attempt out at second. Cruz is able to slide back in successfully. So the count 1-2. Cruz reached on a error, advanced to second on the errant throw. He's out there with nobody down. And the 1-2 to Russell. Kind of jammed him. Chopped out to second. Pache over to first to get the out. So you, in effect, get the same thing as getting the bunt down. You get Cruz down to third. So it'll bring in any kind of a wild pitch. Even a grounder right side could get the job done to get the run home. And it will be Monray Vanderwalt, the catcher, to bat. 2 for 5 yesterday evening. 3 for 28 on the season. And the breaking pitch looked like the slider stayed outside for ball 1.
I like this decision to have Jerry Lopez at shortstop. He was a great athletic player, and that's what you need out there in shortstop. He's a great fielder. As that ball is crushed, that's just going to bring in a run.
That's going to get her done. Single into left field, 1-0. So the air costly here in the second for the Sluggin Rebels as Vanderwalt drives in. Let's double check. It looks like his 6th run of the season. And he's at first with one down for Dan Taylor, the first baseman. We didn't see him Thursday. He played last night, went 1 for 3, and did drive in 1. Newton comes in with a fastball just below the knees, ball 1. Rebels in their traditional black jerseys, white pants, red caps out there this evening. Breaking pitch, that one stayed outside for ball 2. I'm always one of those guys, I believe any advantage you can get. I don't like dark uniforms when it's hot. I mean, if I was a college football coach and I knew my opponents were coming to town and they typically wore dark jerseys, I'd wear my light at home and force them into the dark.
That is actually, some advantages college football players do.
Hey, if you're a couple degrees cooler than your opponent, hey, I'll take it. I mean, I believe in that. But tonight, not bad. Sun's behind the clouds. And pretty pleasant evening for baseball here in Newton. There's Taylor with a 2-1 count. Newton in a breaking pitch outside. 3 balls, 1 strike.
Newton can't, it just seems like Newton can't really locate that outside pitch right now. Just try to hit it about 3 times and send it up in 3 balls.
Yeah, just ending up off the plate each time to these righties. Brings back in a fastball, fouled back. And the count will go full. Again, the Rebels will be back home here on Monday to take on Hayesville, starting a 3-game set with the Aviators. And the payoff pitch, and he placed that fastball perfectly right on the outside corner. He'll get the strikeout and out number 2. And also his second strikeout of the ball game.
It's a great pitch right there from Newton. It seems like Newton's fastball is really working for him right now. Let's see if he throws that a little bit more.
We'll tell you, we got a sponsor for all our strikeouts. Let's get Nolan Friends' first pitch here as he'll chop it up the middle, charging in, knocking it down, and no play for Pache, and it will be the second error of the ball game for the Rebels as Vanderwalt stops at second. So the inning extends 1 extra batter to Aiden Malish, and he did not play last night. We did see him on Thursday. The breaking pitch he struggled with on Thursday, and let's see if that's where Newton will go here. As he places a fastball that's fouled out of play for strike one, but that last strikeout sponsored by Mark Fox, your local J.P. Wygand realtor, focused on bringing you home. And Newton trying to limit this to 1 run. Breaking pitch that time, spotted over the plate, but misses downstairs. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Malish is a batter that Newton can kind of experiment with that breaking pitch, especially being a righty versus lefty matchup.
And it misses down again. 2 balls, 1 strike. Again, the pitchers the other night here on Thursday, steady diet. Malish, first pitch he saw of the ball game, he singled in the center, and I don't know if he saw hardly another fastball the rest of the night as they went almost off speed breaking pitch. And that one up and in, and now Newton getting himself in a little bit of a jam. First and second, 2 down. Top half of the second, 1-0 Kingman. Newton's 3-1. He's going to load him up with his first walk. So a couple errors in the inning. Now the first walk of the ball game will load the bases and bring us back to the top of the lineup. It will be Bradley Neal, and he singled to lead off the ball game. Neal has an RBI on the season and a big opportunity here and a big batter early in the ball game for Jared Newton.
Neal's hitting .556.
And
very impressive.
That was a nice breaking pitch, got him out in front of it for strike 1. Neal not a ton of at-bats. He came in 3 of 7. Making the most of those at-bats. And now a wild pitch is going to make it 2-0. All the way to the backstop, bringing home Vanderwalt. Friend to third, Malish to second. That one just looked like Newton and just came out of his hand very late.
Yeah, he's just holding on to it when he was coming down. It was just,
Haynes had no chance to stab that one. So a 2-0 early deficit here for the Rebels. 1-1 pitch stays downstairs. Neal reaches safely, and then be Ben Wallachek. Little to no wind right at this point this evening as well. And missing in all 3-1. It is very heavy air out there. Curious to see how fly balls will carry tonight. Fastball low, and that will be ball 4, and back-to-back walks, and the bases are going to load up again.
Number 27, Ben Wallachek.
And again, another huge batter here. You know, you dug yourself that hole the other night. Got a couple back when it was 3-2, and then you found yourself down 9-2 later in the ball game. You want to avoid a start like that this evening as Wallachek reached on a fielder's choice and got picked off a second base. And the breaking pitch way outside, and again sliding over nicely. Haynes able to keep everybody where they stand currently, and I think a good trip to the mound here as well.
Wallachek is just looking, just ball feels, stuck to his hand by the time he gets a release, and it's just spiking it, and it's just not what you want to see out of your first pitcher right now. I mean, like we said the other day, we had trouble with that with Alex Gillig, and
Newton appeared pretty sharp in the first inning, and just I don't know if the errors have kind of entered into his mindset here or what. He just needs to kind of settle down and get back to how he pitched in that first inning. Just get this out here. Don't worry about the runners. Try to keep this 2-0. You've only had 1 at-bat so far.
What I've seen, too, out of young people is if they give up a run or two, that's going to kill their confidence. And, you can't let that happen when it's, only the second inning. You can't have your confidence killed like that.
He came back with a good fastball there. Got a swing and a miss from Wallachek. 1 ball, 1 strike. And a good movement, but stayed downstairs. 2 balls and 1 strike. Wallachek reaches. It would then be Gavin Roy. This is batter number 8 of the top half of the 2nd inning.
31 pitches thrown as well for Newton.
That one fouled off, and I think it got a piece of Haynes on the foul off.
Yeah, I think it hit him right on the knee.
Knee or the right arm, maybe.
His single eye is good, so that's a great sign. Jackson Haynes a great catcher for us so far.
Well, I've always said if you want a real challenge and you want to get beat up, either be a home plate umpire or a catcher, because you're gonna get both. You're gonna get abused and beat up behind the plate. Done just enough of that to know I prefer to be sitting right where I am. Now big pitch here, 2-2 count with the bases loaded, and missed outside with that breaking pitch. So now everybody will be moving.
I don't mind that pitch right there. You got 1 ball to give away. Try and get him to hit on that. Let's see if we go fastball right here.
I think you have to come back and challenge in here. The payoff, ground ball in the hole at short, and there's not going to be any play. It's 3-0 Kingman infield RBI single, where Wallachek scored Nolan Friend from third.
Smart decision right there from Jurdy, trying not to be a Derek Jeter over there and potentially costing another run of an error. So I think that was a great decision right there from Lopez. That was a tough play to make.
Yeah,
sometimes you got to learn your own.
Your only chance on that kind of play would have been to go to third, but Myers was pulled over to try to get that ground ball as well. And strike 1 to Gavin Roy. He struck out back in the 1st inning. Infield stays back deep. Fastball, a little nubber. This is going to be trouble.
Oh, no.
Bare hand and no throw. They'll go back behind the runner and get him at third, so the run will count. It's going to be another infield RBI single. So the Malish did score before the out, and then they throw back to third to get Bradley Neal picked off, but it is a 4-run inning for the Islanders, and they get it on 3 hits and strand 2. So we head to the bottom half of the 2nd inning, 4-0 Kingman, and we're back after this break here with Sluggin Rebels Baseball. We're in the home half of the 2nd, 4-0 Kingman. As Xander Roberts, a 6-pitch 1st inning. We didn't even get to all his numbers. Can we mention he's thrown a 16 1/3 coming in, making his 4th start. He struck out 11. He'd walked 9 and given up 8 total runs. And Cole Myers will lead off for the Sluggin Rebels, 1 for 5 last night. And we'll take outside for a ball 1. As I know we want to get over and Take a look at some of the season numbers as well for the Rebels. Right now, Myers, you just want to try to get something started as the, look like maybe an off-speed pitch. And it's outside for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. So it's Cole Myers, Will Franklin, Jackson Haynes here in the second. Sharp grounder and bobbled. Wallachek has plenty of time to recover and will get the out at first.
Great recovery right there from Wallachek. That was a hard hit ball.
Well, he kind of, it looks like his cleats kind of stuck on him there when he tried to shift, and that kind of threw him off balance, but his sharply hit had plenty of time. And it'll bring to the plate right fielder Will Franklin. Franklin against the Islanders last night went 2 for 6, drove in 1. Now the home plate umpire. Is this a dugout issue, or he's looking down the third baseline into the dugout or beside the dugout?
He's looking up. I don't know. Wonder what's going on down there. They're laughing about it.
So a momentary stoppage in play. We can't tell you, we had our first and second inning sponsors. You will hear we have several innings yet still available for the season, and we need your help. We need 5 more inning sponsors for this season.
$100 a piece.
$100 a piece, and it's your inning for the season. If you got a business you'd like to advertise, I've seen people that charities. Yeah. What a great way to raise some awareness through some great charities here in the Newton and surrounding areas. You can contact Mark Carvalho, the GM, 316-640-1591. Also, all the information for contacts is online. Just go to Newton Sluggin Rebel Baseball, and we'd love to have you. Help out with those unexpected expenses that always come up with these summer league teams. Is whatever the issue was down there, we're back ready for Franklin, who checks up his swing but takes a breaking pitch for strike 1.
Great pace right now for Roberts, only throwing 9.
I know it.
Compared to Newton's 34.
Yeah, and then the Rebels are going to get to the bullpen a little sooner, at least at this pace. You hope that Newton can kind of settle in, extend the start a little bit. Now the 1-1 to Franklin, fastball, a generous outside corner, strike 2. And Franklin down in the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Actually, the center fielder, Bradley Neal, shading the righty to go the other way a little bit. And he does. Neal was positioned perfectly, but this is going to fall in front of him anyhow. So that's good scouting report there by the Islanders, but Franklin has the first Rebel hit of the ball game, which is sponsored by Armor Coatings of Wichita Incorporated. They have you covered.
Great read right there from Franklin, reaching on that one, getting that little bloop right over the second baseman.
So that gets your catcher, Jackson Haynes, to the plate. Haynes did not play last night. Takes fastball, strike 1. Haynes so far, at least the stats we have, 2 for 13. And now a good breaking pitch will catch the outside corner and makes the count 0-2. 1 of 4 catchers on the roster. Haynes out of Ranger Community College and is from Glen Rose, Texas. As he takes up for ball 1. Real nice variety. I love a lot of different, several Texas kids, some from Taiwan. You got some local kids. Good variety. And a little fister, and that's going to be a double play. Actually, Taylor leaps up, catches it, and he ends up on the bag for a 3 unassisted double play. That's going to end the inning. Is right off the end of the bat. If that gets over his glove, it's probably extra bases, but again, that is baseball for you, and that will wipe out the one-out single from Franklin. And we head on to the third. Our score remains the Islanders 4 and the Rebels nothing. We'll be back after this short timeout with Sluggin Rebels baseball. Top of the third inning, Jesus Cruz will lead off for the Islanders. 4-0 Kingman. Cruz reached on an air, scored a run in that 4-run second inning. First pitch swinging and a foul it well out of play for strike one. And that long foul ball sponsored by Central National Bank of Newton. Money for life. Member FDIC. One strike pitch. That one stays well outside. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. So 2 errors, 2 walks in that second inning with a couple of infield RBI singles. It was just a tough luck inning for the Rebels. And again, that fastball will tail and get away from Newton outside for ball 2.
Yep, 2 errors and 2 walks will definitely cost you about 2 runs.
Yep, those free passes and extra outs. And that's 3 straight fastballs that have tailed out and away from Cruz.
If I'm Cruz right here, I'm thinking inside fastball. Nothing else, nothing less.
Yeah, you got a pitch to work with on 3-1.
There it is.
And he pops it up into right field. Franklin's got a bead on it. Underneath it, makes the catch for out number 1.
Designated hitter, number 31, Blake Russell.
Nothing much you can do there if you're Newton right there. That's about the one
Jared
spot
making
you
the
can't
call
go.
on the fastball there. He had it placed right where Newton threw it and gets the out to bring up the DH, Blake Russell. He grounded out to the second baseman, Hache, back in the second inning. 9 batters came to the plate in the second inning. That fastball hit right at Franklin. He may not have to move. About a step to his left.
He looked bored out there trying to wait for it.
He actually did.
Kind of dropped his glove and just looked straight up and then made a small adjustment.
So Russell lines out to right. So 2 down for Monray Vanderwalt, the catcher. Vanderwalt had an RBI single and a run scored in the second.
That's where the Rebels need it right here. These 2-out runs is just what kills us every single year. We've always said that. So hopefully we can get this batter out.
Hopefully a 1-2-3 inning here. Good start. Fastball caught the inside corner. And now the 0-1. Breaking pitch, well-placed, chop foul for strike 2. That'd be great for Newton and the Rebels if he could have a quick 1-2-3 inning here, get back to the plate, kind of settle in, and take his start a little deeper.
Be a 7-pitch inning if he gets a strikeout right here.
And good hard slider stayed downstairs. It's 1-2. Still a good 0-2 pitch. What pitcher? coaches will drive you crazy if you put one over the middle of the plate when you're up in the count 0-2. They'll just, unless it's you got to go corners and off the corner like that one. Rounder to third. That is fair. Myers, a long throw, and got him. Nice play by Cole Myers, and it is a 1-2-3 top half of the third inning. The Islanders down in order.
Yep, and that great play by Myers at third base. Had to really, launch that one. That's probably as far as you can get from being a fair ball. But that great play was sponsored by Carl Hodges and family. We're celebrating 23 years of Rebels baseball tradition. If you guys don't know, Carl Hodges is the founder of the Sluggin Rebels. And we're grateful for that.
Absolutely. We'll probably go ahead and just keep it here. Let's take a look at the upcoming schedule. And there's a day off tomorrow, and then start a 3-game set here at home with the Aviators on Monday, then at the Aviators Tuesday, Wednesday, at the Monarchs Thursday, and then next Friday and Saturday they'll play the second and third games against the Monarchs here at home. And then the last game before the All-Star break will be Monday, June 26th with the Twins home game. And then the Rebels on the road, the All-Star break on the 2nd, and they start back up on the 5th with the Cannons here. So that's kind of your upcoming schedule. And there may be a makeup game somewhere in there as well.
There should be a makeup game from, I believe, June 11th, I believe?
It would have been that last game of the Batcat series, the 14th.
14th, there it is. Yeah, that game got rained out, and that was also going to be a military appreciation night, and we got news that got moved back up to the July 5th game against the Cannons.
The Cannons will be military appreciation night.
So we'll have Colonel Tim Mahler and all of his family out there. It'll be a great night for fans to come out during that day.
Those are great events. I do Wichita Wizards basketball in Wichita. We just had Military Appreciation Day, and also they played the Big Red One, the pro team from Fort Riley. It was a fantastic game, fantastic day of activities. Military appreciation, I tell you what, we can't do enough of those. That's for sure. If you're current or former military, you've got my utmost respect and gratitude for what you men and women do for us, that we can come and do this. We thank you for that. We can't thank you enough for that. As the bottom half of the third, it's the 7, 8, 9 hitters coming up for the Rebels. Benji Cazares, the first baseman, will lead off. And he did not play last night, and he'll take that slow breaking pitch for ball 1. Try to locate Cazares. So far, 3 for 19. The stats that we have, fastball stays up for ball 2. So it's Cazares, Dominic Felix, Antonio Avila. They're in the home half of the third. And a good start, 3-0 to Cazares. And I think if the Rebel batters can do it, try to see some pitches here from Roberts. He hadn't had to throw many yet. He almost put him on as the bat was tossed. It was borderline, maybe.
That was it seemed like it was right on the line, but
I can certainly live with that call. I mean, that was maybe borderline out and up, but that one definitely outside for ball 4. And a good start. Cazares will draw the first walk issued by Roberts. And he'll bring up Dominic Felix, the DH, 0 for 2 last night.
It's definitely what you want to see out of Cazares, taking some pitches. He does have, so far, he does have 7 strikeouts on the season. So it's great to have Cazares on that base path and find his way on base.
We'll set your defense here in a little bit. We haven't done that yet for the Islanders. Yeah, breaking pitch well outside for ball 1 to Felix. Friend in left, Neal in center, Malish in right, Roy at third, Wallachek at short, Cruz at second, Taylor at first, and Vanderwalt ends up behind the plate tonight. Just a modest lead at first. That's a good fastball on the outside corner for strike 1. 1 ball and 1 strike.
great pitches by Robert so far. Again, he's just looking at these outside pitches.
And that was an off-speed pitch, swinging right over top of it was Felix for strike 2. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes. And Cazares just a short lead down at first. Just need base runners here, trailing 4-0. And reaches out and fouls that one out of play is Felix. Good defensive swing on a 1-2 pitch. Good crowd on hand. Nice seating here, just a beautiful facility here, Klein Scott Field in Centennial Park. And we'll look around at the dimensions as well. Breaking pitch, good discipline there by Felix. Lets it stay outside to bring the count to 2-2. Lights are on with the cloud covering continuing to drift in. Fastball, this one pulled a mile foul. I even lost track of it that time. Felix out in front of it.
It's tough to see.
It's 330 down the lines, 375 to the power alleys, and 390 to straightaway center. And it is dead calm here in Newton. Another 2-2 pitch checking his swing. I think that stayed down, and an appeal, no swing, so the count goes full. And a good at-bat here for Dominic Felix.
This is what you want out of the Rebels. You want these, even if he strikes out here, it's going to be a good at-bat.
Yep, absolutely. You saw some pitches. And a fastball fouled out of play. But Felix stays in there.
Yep, that's what me and Carl always talked about. Nights that we were struggling on hitting. As long as we had a full count pitch, if you struck out, fine. You get the pitcher's count up. There's nothing.
This one popped up left side foul territory. Roy tracking it down just shy of the fence will make the catch for out number 1. So Felix ends up fouling out. Again, got out in front of that pitch and induced the pop out. So 1 down with Cazares at first for the left fielder, Antonio Avila. Avila did play last night, did not have an at-bat or an official at-bat on the season, 1 for 5. We'll take that off-speed pitch. Takes a little bit low for ball 1.
28 pitches. It'll be his 29th coming up.
Line shot to center field will fall in for a base hit. Cazares trots into second. That is hit number 2 for the Rebels. And we'll also get you back to the top of the lineup to Jordy Lopez, who grounded out to second to lead off the home half of the first. Lopez, through 6 games, played 5 for 22 at the plate. And he had a good game at the plate, had a single and a triple here on a Thursday night.
Jordy's one of our best players all around, it seems like, this season.
Tried a surprise bunt there and fouled it back. He's looking down at Roy, who was just back of the bag a little bit, so he tried the surprise bunt, but it goes down as strike 1. Still a good idea. Tons of room down that left field line if you could slice one down there, as he'll take the slow curve for strike 2.
Nice pitch right there from Roberts.
Nolan
got him freezed up right there.
It was. You look at Nolan, friend, he is way off with the lefty up off that left field line. Whoa, boy, I tell you what, Roberts wanted that one, and I tend to agree with him. That was a great curveball, just missing for ball 1.
Lopez was falling that one onto the base pad, or onto the home plate.
Came back with it again. This one came inside. It's fouled off.
And this is a great inning so far for the Rebels, based off just pitch count. Robert Zari up to 31 pitches compared to Jared Newton's 41.
Well, he'll be a third of the way through the game after the inning. He'd love to chip away a little bit here, get a run or two home with your top of your lineup at the plate. And again, the 1-2 pitch came inside and missed with a fastball. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Rebels are really showing a great eye so far.
Suhache will bat next. Lopez will pull this one into right field, a base hit. They're going to have to hold Cazares at third. And an errant throw in, and now Cazares will score to make it 4-1. And that's just a big mistake there by the Islanders. They didn't need to rush it at all. They were clearly holding Cazares, who doesn't run real quickly, at third, and then they simply commit the error.
Yeah, they made the quick split decision to throw it to second. They would have probably had a Dominic Felix in a little rundown.
And
as,
what
he was, Cazares was stopping at third. Felix was halfway to third at that point, and bad error right there from the Islanders.
And then it also moves your other runners in the scoring position, and that took a weird hop and is foul.
Oh, wow. Ooh, I don't know about that one.
Now, all that ball has to do, if it hits fair in front of the bag, it has to cross any part of the bag. It doesn't matter where it hits on the other side of the bag.
Yeah.
The home plate umpire has to make that call, did, and said it was foul. And wow,
that would have been a great hit right there for.
Well, even a ground out would have got the run home from third. And now it's a 1-strike pitch, and now a wild pitch is going to get it home. And caromed off of Vanderwalt, and it's 4-2.
Maybe that was a blessing in disguise, because I think I'd much rather have that. We didn't give up an out.
Oh, absolutely.
Same thing happened, and now we got an extra ball.
So it's now 4-2. Suhache grounded to second. That would get another run home, most likely. See if he can get this in play. He fouls it off, and it's 1-2. So the Rebels have committed a couple of errors. That's the first for the Islanders on that throw, and then, of course, the wild pitch. And Roberts utilizing the windup again. And Hache fouls it off down the first baseline.
I like what Hache's doing here. He's just trying to get the ball in play because he knows he has Jordy Lopez at third, and he could probably bunt here, and Jordy could probably make it all the way home.
Well, he's looking, obviously a lefty. Look how deep the right side of the infield is. He grounds it there. It's 4-3. Yeah. So he's doing the right thing, putting it where the infield's deep, knows he can get the run home, and keeping it on the ground, or try to pull this deep into the outfield. Right. Or that'll work too. A single into right almost sounded like a broken bat. And it's 4-3 RBI single. Hache 4 for 6 last night, now 1 for 2 in this one. And the Rebels right back in this. Down trailing now just by 1.
That's 3. One of the Cody base hit singles right there for the Sluggin Rebels. And
yeah, he got pretty good speed out there. He might, with Titan Gable at the plate, think about hit and run here. And Gable, a little pop-up left side of the infield. Wallachek will make the catch. That will be out number 2. So Gable now 0 for 2. He flew to right back in the first.
I think for Gable, that's just not the pitch I want to swing at. Really want to lay off that first pitch right there, even if it's going to be down the middle. It's always nice to try and get a long at bat, but
it was good idea. It was trying to go the other way, just got behind it. Now it'll be up to Cole Myers. He led off the second and grounded out to short. That'll be low and away to Cole Myers for ball 1. And Shea without a stolen base so far this year. Has a decent lead at first. And the fastball fouled out of play, right side. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Foul ball was sponsored by Central National Bank of Newton. Money for life, member of FDIC.
Usually that's where you have a lot of your youngsters love to chase down those foul balls.
It's kind of tough over there. I think that's where the bullpen usually is. It's pretty big bullpen surrounded by a fence. So
Well, Roberts certainly thinks something might be working with Hache at first and 2 down. He tosses over. And he does it a second time, a little bit closer play.
Can't get lazy on those pickoffs right there.
Let's see if he gets a little bit better lead. Pass ball stays upstairs to Myers. It's 2-1. Myers, our Bethel College player of the game on Thursday night. His first at bat, he homered to left.
I was about to bring up left field. Right field, it seems like it will die here at Klein Scott Field. It's just going to be called a strike, but left field, free game. I think we had 2 or 3 home runs this during our broadcasting season, and it's been all 3 left field.
Fastball just off the outer part of the plate. That's going to run the count full, so now Hache can be moving with the pitch.
There's got to be some frustration going on with Roberts, especially on that last one. He looked a little defeated. This has a great off
And
speed.
Myers pulls this high and deep to left, but I think he got under it a little bit too much, and shy of the warning track, Nolan Friend does make the catch for out number 3. But the Sluggin Rebels, they'll plate 3 runs in the inning, and they do it on 3 hits. There was 1 error and 1 left. So through 3 complete, good ball game here in Newton. The Islanders 4 and the Sluggin Rebels 3. We'll take just a quick break here, and we'll be back with more Sluggin Rebels baseball.
A minute of the fun here at Klein Scott Field all season.
And welcome back to the top of the 4th. As Jordan's still out there on the mound. And we're talking during the break, great inning right there from the Rebels. Got the pitch count back to even for both teams. Newton, clean count, sitting at 41 pitches. That ball's drilled. Goes to third baseman Myers, and Myers will make that play to Benji. Now I get Dan Taylor out. As we got Nolan Friend and then Matlish next up for the Islanders.
Bottom third of the lineup here for Kingman is Newton last inning at a 1-2-3 inning, and he kind of seemed to settle back in a little bit. We'll see if he can continue that here in the 4th.
Especially taking advantage of the bottom of the lineup. It's going to be a swing and a miss for a Friend right there for strike number 1.
And he's got good movement. That fastball tails into righties like you see a lot of pitchers do.
0-1 count. That almost hit.
Almost 2 tailing in there. Got him in the shoulder.
Got a great check right there, but 1-1 count, 1 out. Friend playing left field today. Another close one at Friend's head. I mean,
3 straight pitches.
You just gotta get some control back. Wouldn't be shocked to see a little outside pitch right here, trying to get him to swing on it. 2-1 count. That's just gonna be right down the middle.
He
Great pitch.
He went fastball at the knees that time. I think he loves that slider. He just hasn't been able to place it, so he's going a little bit heavier fastball right now.
2-2 count.
He threw the slider that time.
Yeah, that was a great defensive swing right there from Friend. But still, Newton has a pitch to give. We'll see where he goes here. He could go fastball very easily. But I would not shock to see a off-speed pitch, especially with the 2-2 count. He's just going to go right back inside and misses it. Full count now for Friend.
He wanted to challenge him there, but again, he's missed with 3 straight.
Yeah,
fastballs on the inside.
Really trying to get that inside pitch going. He's going to try and throw that slider, and you can see it on the mound. He's a little frustrated. He just can't get that right control on that slider. Almost did get Friend swinging on that one, but it just yanked too.
He's consistently missed outside, low and away with that slider. For most of this game is his 3rd walk issued.
So now we got Malish, bottom of the order. I'll just foul that one back. Almost did hit the ump, right in the leg, but he slaps his knee and walks that one off.
Malish was one of those 3 walks. He and Friend both reached base back in the 2nd. Friend on an air, Malish walked. Both ended up coming around and scoring that 4-run 2nd. And fortunately for the Rebels, get 3 back in the 3rd.
Looking at Newton's Newman record, it seemed like he was trying to be a ground ball type pitcher. We can probably see that here as he shows bunt. But fouls that one away, so 0-2. Probably won't see a bunt here.
There are very, very few coaches, unless they are extremely confident in their batter, that will bunt with a 2-strike count. Because, of course, you bunt it foul, you're out.
Yeah, looking at first base. Gets Malish to swing on that one. Hit Benji. Kind of skipped up off the grass right there. Hit Benji right in the face. And we'll try and get him at second. Great decision right there from right field. That was...
Boy, Franklin made a great throw in there, and I think that was the correct call. That was Malish just under the tag as he will... Boy, you got to go double there. That took a wicked hop, and Cazares was right there, and it went right over his shoulder. It may have hit right on the edge of the grass.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think it edge of the grass bounced up and kind of skimmed his cheek right there. He kind of had to look away. Ball's coming right at his face. But now we're at the top of the order with Bradley Neal. Once again, that slider of Neal is just not working right now.
Neal, 2 at-bats, been on base twice, singled in the 1st, walked, and then got picked off in the 2nd inning.
So we're going to call a time from the third base coach talking to his bench. Wonder what that was about, but we'll move on from it. 1-0 count for Bradley Neal. Both runners in scoring position. That was a nice pitch right there for Noon, but Noon can't see it. Just can't locate the inside pitch this inning right now.
And Neal was conferring with the home plate umpire. He wanted to make sure that was called low. He's just trying to get a feel for that strike zone.
That ball is going to be fouled off towards the Rebels dugout. 2-1 count now. 1 out.
Well, it's a big at-bat here for Neal and especially Jared Newton for the Rebels. See if he can induce a little pop-up or something here. Keep those runners where they are.
Another low pitch right there from Newton. 3-1 count.
Newton has struck out 2 and walked 3 to this point. He now has thrown 3 1/3 innings.
You see Benji at first base playing up in the field, ready to throw it home potentially as that ball's crushed towards right field. We'll see if Will can make the play as he'll try and dive, but it'll be called foul. As that was great effort right there from Franklin trying to dive and make the play.
We'll see. That might be a break.
That might have been not a good play right there from Franklin. It would have been a nice catch.
It would have been a great catch, but then the run scores on tagging at third. So now you
double tag up.
It could backfire on you if Neal singles here and scores 2 runs. It could backfire on you not having that other out. But you got your confidence in Newton. See if he can get the out now on a full count pitch.
1 out. Yep, and just almost hit him on that inside pitch, and another walk for Newton.
The shortstop.
Bases loaded now, 1 out. Any base counts. Be easy double play here if he induces a ground ball. As Ben Wallachek, shortstop, coming right back up.
He reached on a fielder's choice in the first, had an infield RBI single, one of 2 of those infield RBI singles in the second inning.
There's that inside pitch, and he actually gets it called. So that's going to be strike number 1 for Wallachek.
That was probably what I would call an extended inside corner, but the outside corner has been extended as well, so pretty consistent zone so far.
A 1 count for Wallachek. Another inside pitch, and well, it seemed like it was a lot more.
I thought that was same location area. He just didn't get the nod that time.
Maybe it was a little too high. 1-1 the count. Bases are loaded. That's going to be a chopper towards third base, and we're going to try and get a double play, but they'll just get him out at home. Smart decision right there from Myers. That's going to be another fielder's choice for Wallachek. Now it's going to be 2 outs. Bases are still loaded.
The third baseman, number 8.
That was a great decision by Myers. He knew that it was going to be a tough play at first, and he had a chance to cut down the lead runner at home and not allow a run. And now Newton, chance to get out of this thing with no damage and keep his team down just 1 run if he can get Gavin Roy.
This is going to be a tough out, especially, yeah, like you said, with Gavin Roy. So that ball just gets away from Newton right there. It's going to be 1-0.
Roy struck out in the first. He was back-to-back. He also had an infield RBI single, little chopper down the third baseline.
1-0 count. Roy pops that one up. It's going to stay in play towards the right field line. Benji is going to make the play right there, and that's going to end the inning and get Newton out of that little jam right there.
That was a great job by Jared Newton pitching out of that trouble as he will leave the bases loaded. And you go down to the bottom of the 4th. You still got a 1-run game here, 4-3 Kingman.
Yep, and if there's anything like the last half inning for the Rebels, things are looking up. And we'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back with the bottom of the 4th. And welcome back to the bottom of the 4th inning, as we got Will Franklin, right fielder, leading off for the Rebels. It's going to be Franklin, Haynes, and then Cazares.
Will Franklin.
Franklin, second inning single in his first at-bat.
There's a nice off-speed right there from Roberts, but it was just a little too low. Going to be calling for ball number 1. Franklin chops that one towards third baseman. It's going to be a tough throw, but nice scoop right there from the first baseman, Dan Taylor, as Gavin Roy was there to make the play. That'll be out number 1. Rebels have 4 hits on the night, as the Islanders have 5. Both teams combined for 3 errors. Noon with 2 of them, and Kingman with the blown to 1. So now we got Jackson Haynes, our catcher, up to the plate. So that's going to be a nice fastball on the outside.
It induced him to go after that slider that tailed down and away from him. Haynes had that weird little line into that 3 unassisted double play that happened to end the 2nd inning.
Yeah, that was just unfortunate. That's going to be another slider. That one broke a little bit more. That first one didn't really look like that much of a slider, but that one broke right there for no 2 count for Haynes. Haynes hits that one deep towards center field. Center field's 390. That's going to be made at the warning track from Bradley Neal out there.
That was hit about 380, but Neal able to get back there just shy of the warning track, makes a nice catch in the 2nd out of the inning.
So quick 2-out count right now for the Rebels, trying to hopefully Benji can avoid a 1-2-3 inning right here for the Rebels.
He walked and ended up scoring a run. He walked leading off that 3-run 3rd inning. Had a good at-bat.
So this will be Robert's 44th pitch, and if you're doing the math at home, that's only 4 pitches so far, and he's already gotten 2 outs as this one's crushed towards left field. This one is just going to die, and what an amazing play right there from Nolan Friend. That one looked like it was gone, but then it just died right at the warning track, and Friend was there to make a great play on Benji's ball.
No wind and heavy air tonight, and Friend he kind of bangs into the wall, but actually makes a nice catch to end the inning. So a couple of hard hit balls, but the Rebels go in order.
Now lead to the top of the 5th inning. The score is still 4-3 in favor of the Islanders. And with that, we'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Here with us.
And welcome back to the top of the 5th inning. Before we get started talking about anything else, this 5th inning is sponsored by Realty Connections here in Newton, connecting people with places. Call 316-283-6607 for your South Central Kansas real estate needs.
Got your Jayhawk scoreboard here. We got the Aviators on top of the Monarchs, 5-1, bottom of the 4th, and the Batcats all over the Derby Twins right now, 13-2. That's in the top of the 5th.
At least glad that's not this game.
Oh, man. Yeah, the Batcats, long way to go there. Actually, you have the 10-run rule after 7, so maybe not too long to go.
That's going to be an outside ball for Noon right there. And we have Jesus Cruz leading off for the Highlanders. 1-0 count. One's in the dirt for 2.
Cruz reached on an air, scored in the 2nd, and he flew to right in the 3rd inning.
2-0 count for Cruz. Noon gets that outside strike. Strike number 1.
Actually, I think they had that outside for ball 3.
I think it is now. I think it's 2-2 actually.
Okay,
they did count that as a strike.
Okay, well, hopefully, yes, the umpire does confirm that there. He does signal 2-2. Boy, that was a very generous first strike then. That looked like it was well off the outer part of the plate, but heck, the Rebels will take it.
Was a bit outside, but it's going to be a 2-2 count now for Cruz, and that ball.
Did that hit him?
Did that bean Cruz? Cruz walking away. It didn't seem like he was confident, but he tried to play it off.
He's not protesting too much. Apparently, it hit right in front of his foot. I thought it might have hit the top of his foot.
Yeah, very close. But now it's going to be a full count for Newton. And great pitch right there from Newton. Kind of almost got Cruz jammed up there, but hit bottom of the bat. And popped up, hit Cruz foul.
Cruz actually that time fouled it off his own foot.
Yeah.
If you've ever done that, that's why you see some of those batters that wear that protection on their ankle that covers the top of their foot.
Yeah, I've gotten hit in the foot really bad off a foul ball. I've gotten cleated in the face once playing third. Not fun, as that one's chopped foul.
You know, Cruz having a good at bat here. He's just a tough competitor. It seems like every time he's in there, he has a nice long at-bat. A junior out of Puerto Rico, plays at Taft College.
Full count. That pitch is just a little low inside, and it's going to be ball number 4, so Cruz will trot his way down to first.
Walk number 5 for Jared Newton. We mentioned.
Well, he has 2 strikeouts.
And it looks like the signal's been made down to the bullpen area to start getting some action going down there for the Rebels. So somebody's going to get up and throwing with Monray Vanderwalt coming to the plate. RBI single, run scored in the second, grounded to third in the third.
I think it's actually Blake Russell. Right?
Oh, yes, I skipped one ahead.
Yeah. Russell's going to swing and miss on that one for strike number 1. Great pitch right there from Newton.
Russell is grounded to second, and he's also lined to right. That was a one where Franklin, I think he took one step to catch that line out.
Yeah. 0-1 count. Check back at first. Very slow windup right there from Newton. Kind of took his time on that one, making sure he didn't throw that one away. 0-1 count for Russell. Russell's at DH today. Great swing and a miss, but runner goes. And
oh, great throw. Well, they didn't get him.
That one kind of just confused the entire Newton team right there.
It was a delay steal, I think is what it was. But, boy, I thought Lopez had the tag down in time, but the umpire ruled that Cruz was just under it, apparently.
That was very weird. I mean, it kind of got me, too. I was like, oh, he was running on a low fastball, it seemed like. Now it's going to be 0-2 count. Runner at second now. Runner in scoring position. No outs for Blake Russell. That ball's just chopped towards third. It's just a little bit too hard, and Lopez tried to make the play. And
oh, now they got the runner hung up.
And it's just going to get away from Che right there.
And that was Lopez. Boy, I tell you, they had him dead to rights, and he just uncorked a low throw, and that's going to actually be the third error of the ball game. I think you would probably score Russell an infield single. You weren't going to get him, but then you got to score an error on the runner advancing.
Yeah, I think that's Chase. Is that Chase's second error, I believe? I don't know if they're going to count that one on Russell or not, but
that error would be on Lopez on the throw.
There we go. Okay.
I think you'd have to score it that way.
So now we're going to have a mound visit in the top of the 5th inning, as this 5th inning is brought to you by Realty Connections here in Newton. Connect people with places. You can call 316-283-6607 for all your South Central Kansas real estate needs. And this, I guess we're going to talk it over. It might be the end of Jared Newton's pitching day, and we'll see what happens here. Maybe not.
I think they're buying some time because they just got somebody started throwing, so I think it's to try to talk situation here with runners at the corners, nobody down on what you're going to do on a ground ball. I think you, at this point, just in the 5th inning, if you get a chance to try to turn 2, you're going to probably allow that run to score.
Yep. So now Vanderwalt is up to the plate as that ball almost hits him. It's going to be a 1-0 count.
So Newton, 5 walks, 3 errors in the ball game, and they have hurt themselves, but still just down 1 at this point.
That ball's going to be fouled off by Vanderwalt. 1-1 count. Dan Taylor, the first baseman, on deck, or in the circle, whatever you want to call it.
And that stolen base for Cruz, that would have been his third, at least for how much the stats have updated. I think they're lacking maybe one game.
From yesterday, yeah. I bet you it still says it's in progress, so it hasn't officially counted towards anything, as that ball's going to be a little high for a 2-1 count for Vanderwalt. One runner in scoring position. Ball gets away, and Newton's, might have cut his hand or something.
He's certainly favoring his right hand a little bit.
Ball, hands might have been too dry or something.
Let's see if he's going to come back in fastball. 3-1 count. Don't want to load him up.
That ball is just crushed towards left field, but we'll make the play right there. As runner at third is going to tag up. They're going to make a play at home, but Cruz is just too fast right there. Great catch by Avila out there in left field. Keeps the runner at first, but that
first baseman, number
that
10,
infield or outfield fly is just going to cost him one run and
give an RBI there as well.
And this
sac fly.
This is going to be the second mound visit, so this will most definitely be the end of Jared Newton. As if you have 2 mound visits,
Yep, have to come out.
One, you have to sub him out. Once you can hear the crowd clapping for Newton. So we're at number 13. That is going to be Dominic Felix. Actually is coming in. Our DH is coming in to finish this inning. I was looking through the substitutions. I couldn't find anything on number 13. I look up number 13. So we're going to have our DH, Felix, potentially hitting and
so
pitching.
He will probably stay in the batting line. Well, yeah, he can.
He can, yeah.
He would just actually you would eliminate your DH at that point, and your pitcher would stay in there.
That's what the Angels do a lot with Shohei Ohtani. So we'll see Felix warm up here, and Felix really just showing off that fastball, getting warmed up. It's very fast right now. I feel like he's
And also our call to the bullpen and our pitching change sponsored by the Pizza Hut of Newton. No one out pizzas the Hut.
Kingman has now they have 5 runs on 6 hits. I have him down for 2 errors, I believe. That's correct.
Right now, right now Kingman with 1 error.
1 error, there we go. And then I got the Rebels for 3 runs, 4 hits, and 3 errors. But Felix, let's see if we can get any stats on Felix.
Well, right now, nothing showing up for him unless he has pitched recently. Looks like it may be his first trip to the mound. Again, 4 1/3 for Jared Newton. Gave up, well, runners on base, his responsibility. Blake Russell would go to his total. Right now he's given up 5 runs on 6 hits. He walked 5 and struck out 2.
Only 1 earned run, though. Out the 5.
Yeah, I think, that go-to pitch just wasn't there. That slider wasn't there for him tonight, and he really needed that pitch.
Newton faced 24 batters. But here comes Felix. Clean count against Dan Taylor, and that ball is going to be high for ball number 1.
Taylor has struck out and grounded the 3rd tonight.
Runner takes off at first, and no contest right there from Haynes, as he's just going to let Vanderwalt take second right there. And that's going to be a strike right down the middle.
That was stolen off the pitcher there. He got a huge jump. That's why Haynes chose not to even go through the motions of throwing down.
That's going to be another fastball right down the middle for a 1-2 count. Seems like Felix is really, pumping that fastball. But that might be in favor of the Rebels. We'll see. That ball's fouled fouled off. Still 1-2 count for Dan Taylor, runner at second.
Now, I like he went a 1-2 fastball, but he kept it a little bit above the belt, which is a difficult pitch to hit. And most of them will be fouled off and not put in play. If you're going to throw it, that's where you want to place it.
Nolan Friend up next for the Islanders. It's just going to be a little too low of a fastball. So now the count's going to be 2-2. 1 out. As the lights are out, clouds are getting a little darker. There's a little off-speed action right there, but almost didn't make the plate right there.
Tried the breaking pitch, wanted to, again, working on the outside corner, but missed and has run the count full.
So we'll see challenge pitch right here, 3-2, and that's going to be popped up in the infield. Let's see if Benji can make the play. Benji will make the play, hold the runner at second. Probably his second out right there for the Sluggin Rebels. Now we got Nolan Friend in the 8-hole.
Friend so far, he reached on an error, scored in the second, walked in the 4th inning. He got put out on a fielder's choice, trying to score with the bases loaded.
Vanderwalt at second. That ball's just nicely hit towards Che. And now in the inning right there for the Sluggin Rebels is they only gave up 1 run. Had a pitching change, and so now your score's 5-3 in favor of the Islanders. And we'll see what the Rebels could do in the bottom of the 5th as we take a break. But once again, this inning is sponsored by Realty Connections here in Newton, Kansas. Connect people with places. You can always call 316-283-6607 for your South Central Kansas real estate needs. And with that, we'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to the bottom of the 5th inning. As Dominic Felix, who just came in and pitched, finished out the inning for the Rebels, is now up to the plate, playing DH. So see what Felix can do here. As we're going to call time, and we're going to call time because the PA is trying to really get this game going.
Yeah, they're making an announcement. They're waiting for that to end.
We got a contest that runs through the top of the 5th inning, and it's 15th out. It's a very interesting concept, but it gets a lot of people going. It's going to be a 0-0 count. Now it's going to be 0-1 for Felix.
Felix fouled out to third. His first at bat came in the 3rd inning.
Looking around, we got a great crowd actually out here. Now it's going to be a 1-1 count. Yeah, great crowd for both teams over here. All right, now Roberts still on the mound for the Islanders as he just threw his 46th pitch in the bottom of the 5th. So
I'm surprised this isn't a 3-0 count. I didn't see a strike thrown yet, but apparently one was called.
It was the first pitch. It was kind of the outside fastball. And now it's going to be 3-1. And for Felix, you don't really want to swing the bat if you just threw two.
You got one to work with.
Yeah.
2 of them that were not even close the last couple.
Hitters count for Felix, and Felix just kind of chops that one towards the shortstop, and Makes the play right there. That was a wallet check right there. It kind of seemed like he dug his cleats. We kind of saw that earlier. Shortstop cleats kind of get stuck right there. But wall check there to make the play.
A little more off the end of the bat there. Is fairly slowly hit by Felix. Just didn't get a good contact on that 3-1 pitch.
A little above it, as now we got Antonio Avila, left fielder, rounding out the bottom of the lineup. So now he looks at ball number 1.
He had a single and a run scored in the 3rd inning. So far, that's the only inning of scoring for the Rebels.
So that ball is crushed towards left field, and it'll be nicely placed. So he's going to stretch for second, and he will have a stand-up double right there. Yeah, that super double was sponsored by Midway Motors of Newton, your Chevrolet, GMC, and Buick dealer for every mile of life.
Boy, that time Avila just set back, got the pitch he wanted, a fastball, and got that hook spin. And one hopped at the wall. Very well played by Nolan Friend. I mean, it was right off the wall. And he got it in quickly, but no way he was going to get Avila at second.
So now we got Jordy Lopez. Avila at second. Only 1 out, so this is the right spot you want Lopez. That ball almost would have hit Lopez if he didn't move out of the way.
Lopez 1 for 2. Grounded to second in the 1st. He singled and scored in the 3rd inning.
1-0 count for Lopez. Runner checks back at second.
Well, the Monarchs making a little comeback now at home against Hayesville. It's now 5-4 Hayesville, that game right now, with Hutch batting in the bottom of the 5th.
1-0 count. Lopez fouls that one off towards left field.
Well, that was a great idea. He got that pitch up and away from him and just tried with Friend playing way over in left center to go down the line. We mentioned that in Lopez's last at bat, and finally got a pitch to try to go that way and just couldn't keep it fair.
Speaking about Hayesville, our next broadcast will be on the 19th. As Lopez looks at strike number 2. Next home game will be on June 19th against the Hayesville Aviators as they take on the Sluggin Rebels on Monday. So now it's going to be 1-2 count for Lopez after looking at strike number 2 and eyes that low ball for ball number 2.
Well, he really watches that slow curve all the way in there, and good job to take it low there, yeah.
Now it's going to be 2-2. Lopez had the right idea of trying to turn on that, but couldn't get it in between the first baseman and second base, but that'll advance the runner, so he did his job. So now we got 2 outs.
Up next
with
for the Sluggin Rebels, the second
Che.
baseman, number 1, Sue Boo G.
So Che is also a 1 for 2 in the ball game.
Che looks at the first pitch. It pops up towards the second baseman. It's going to be Cruz to make the play in the inning for the Sluggin Rebels right there as we head to the top of the 6th. Nothing has changed except for a Sluggin Rebels hit.
One hit, no errors, and nobody left on
And now
base.
in the
Hey fans,
bottom of the
DY,
5th.
yes, you do. It's time for
Last
you to
time
win
the
somebody.
5th inning was brought to
Your
you by
Sluggin Rebel
Realty
players will be in the
Connections
stands soon,
here in
selling
Newton.
50-50
Connecting people with the places.
You get
You
half
can
the
always
money
call
raised, and the Sluggin Rebels get half.
316-63-6607 for all your South Central Kansas real estate needs. And with that, your Sluggin Rebels are down 3-5 as we head to the top of the 6th. And we'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back. And welcome back to the top of the 6th inning. As Dominic Felix pitches strike at number 1 to number 33. Aiden Malish hitting the 9-hole on 1 count. Another fastball. Malish still looking.
Malish 1 for 1, walked and scored in the 2nd, and he doubled in the 4th. He's had a good day at the plate.
Big improvement from the other day, as he's just going to look at strike number 3.
He certainly didn't agree with it, but I tell you what, that
was the same spot.
The corners have been extended. Maybe those pitches are off the plate, but if they're going to be called a strike, they have been for the first 5 innings. You're going to have to swing at those, and that's the first big strikeout there for Dominique Felix.
So now Bradley Neal swings at strike number 1, and that last strikeout was always brought to you by Mark Fox, your local JP Weingate realtor. As that was a close inside pitch right there. It's going to be 1-1 now for Neal. And I'm liking what I'm seeing from Felix. He's just getting set and ready to go. It's kind of throwing off the batters right now.
Well, Neal yet to be retired. He singled in the 1st, and he walked in both the 2nd and 4th innings, so he's doing his job in the leadoff spot.
1-2 count. He just hits that one towards Dirty Lopez, and Lopez makes a great play right there. And
Cazares did a great job. He had to leave the bag to catch it, made sure he caught it, got the foot down just ahead to get Neal for out number 2.
It was a weird bouncing of the ball right there. You know, getting out of that grassy infield. It's very tough for those infielders trying to read the ball. It seemed like the ball kind of did slow down because Jordy was about to come up a little bit quicker, but the ball was going straight through. It's going to be an inside pitch for Wallachek.
Wallachek is 1 for 3 as an infield RBI single and has reached on fielder's choices twice.
Missed a low once again, 2-0 count. Yeah, Felix is just getting up there and pitching right away as he swings and misses. So now it's going to be 2-1.
Well, he's got good zip on that fastball. We don't have a radar, but that's got to be, I would say, mid-upper 80s at least.
Yeah, very fast throwing motion. Missed high and inside. For ball number 3, 3-1 count, 2 outs. Felix a little too high on that one, and that'll be a walk for Wallachek. So now we got Gavin Roy in the 3-hole.
That's the first walk issued by Dominique Felix so far. He came in, he hit the last couple outs in the 5th inning.
Yep, Felix is 1 strikeout, and that was to Malish, who just looked at all three strikes. As Roy also looks at strike number 1. A little too low. 1-1 count. 2 outs.
Roy's 1 for 3. Also had an infield RBI single. He struck out and popped out to first base.
Missed that one, so now it's going to be 2-1 for Gavin Roy. Jesus Cruz on deck, or in the circle. That one also gets away, and Haynes loses the ball in that one, and that'll be stolen base right there for Wallachek. That's about the only bad thing I see with Felix out there, is runners are taking advantage of, frankly, just a position player out there. Not really checking back too much, so easy to take advantage of that. And that ball gets away from Haynes, and
a double whammy there as it gets through the legs
we'll
of
see Gavin Roy kind of around first. Maybe kind of like what I'm seeing from Roy right there, taking advantage of that pass ball. Almost halfway there to second, but
well, now you moved Wallachek to third on that. Instead of first and second, you got first and third. You got the first 2 batters out, and now back-to-back walks. That's now 2 for Felix and 7 combined for Rebel pitching tonight.
Ball's low. Runner takes off from first. Easy advance right there for Gavin Roy.
Now, wild pitch. Boy, a base hit here would be really devastating for the Rebels. After you got the first 2 outs, you've advanced runners on a pass ball and a wild pitch.
I do believe bullpen is warming up, people, for the Sluggin Rebels. So it's going to be 1-0 count for Jesus Cruz. Runners are now both in scoring position. So he looks at strike number 1. Felix should, if I'm Felix, I'm not going to be worried about any runners right now. Just focus on getting Cruz to either ground out or strike out. Cruz pops that one up out of play towards left field. And now Cruz facing a 1-2 count. Cruz has been one of the better hitters on the Islanders.
He scored twice tonight in the second and fifth innings. He reached on an error in the second, walked in the fifth.
1-2. That ball is just line drive towards Myers, and Myers is there to make the easy line drive play right there as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning. And Felix kind of got out of a semi-jam right there. Had runners in the corners.
Self-imposed, but he got out of it, so that keeps it at a 2-run ball game. Very important there as you're heading in towards the middle and later innings. Want to keep it as narrow as possible with your 3, 4, and 5 hitters due up coming up in the home half of the 6th.
It seems like Xander Roberts is still out there on the mound. And so with that, we'll take a quick break and we'll be right back. Welcome back to the bottom of the 6th inning. As we got Titan Gable, Cole Myers, and Will Franklin up next for the Sluggin Rebels. It's like we said before the break, Roberts is still out there on the mound. Roberts so far has 5 innings pitched, 4 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned runs, only 1 walk, but 0 strikeouts on 20 batters faced. Gable swings at the first pitch, and that's just a line drive straight to Dan Taylor, and he'll make the out right there.
And Gable now 0 for 3 after that line out. He's flown to right and also popped out to short. Also with that line out, Myers comes to the plate. He's bounced to third and flown to left, so he is 0 for 2.
Clean count. Fouls that one off and hit the, I think it hit the umpire as well. I think that foul ball hit the umpire in the face mask. Be 0-1 count now. Home plate umpire. Seems like he's fine. Ours 2 for 13 on the season. Ball, breaking ball is a low in a way for ball number 1. 1-1 count, 1 out.
Really, I think Roberts' best pitch has been that one, or that kind of that slow curve that he has located pretty nicely at times tonight for the Islanders.
That's a nice breaking pitch right there. Roberts thought that one was a little bit closer, but
it
says
was
no.
A little down in a way. He went right back to it after throwing it on the 1-1 count. Now see if we got something.
Let's see what's going on towards the third base line. As Rebels see what's going on here. There's some.
I'm hoping it's not lightning.
Yeah, hopefully it might be some weather issues, but we're not hopeful. We don't want that to be it, but.
If they're sending the players in, it's got to be something to that effect. Let me quickly, I'll pull up a radar if I can here. Well, I'm all for player safety, but the radius that they go by is 10 miles. And I think 5 miles would be a plenty as far as your lightning is concerned, but they go a 10-mile radius. And if there's a strike, then you go to the, I think, is it a 30-minute rule every time?
Yep, and so we just got confirmation from Jacob Gibbs that we're going to have a 30-minute weather delay. And
it does. The good news, if you put the radar in motion, looks like it will. It looks like it'll move away with nothing behind it right now. As soon as the radar resets, it looks like it's to the south and east right now of the city of Newton, where that lightning apparently is coming from. And it looks like it's all going to drift off to the northwest. And the radar kind of slow here. Let's see if I can stop. Yeah, there's a little cell just to the south and east right now. When you put it in motion, it looks like it'll move out. But by about 11 o'clock, we better be done. That's all I can say is there's a lot going to come up from the southwest. So we'll quick look at our other games in action right now. The Batcats 13-2 lead right now on the Derby Twins. That game probably going to be could be a 7-inning game. They're right now in the top of the 7th in Derby. Let me bring up the live casts. In Hayesville had a 5-1 lead on Hutch, and then they've now increased that after Hutch got back within 1. It's now 8-4 Hayesville, and they are still batting, have scored 3 runs so far in the top half of the 6th inning. Let me see if I can. There are 2 outs with runners currently at first and second for the Aviators.
I think during this break, we'll just shout out all of our sponsors that we usually do at the end of the game, but we got the time to do it here. So we'd like to thank the Colonel Tim Mahler family, Pizza Hut in Newton, Midway Motors, Bethel College, the John Oldham family, Armor Coatings of Wichita Inc., Sand Creek Summer Days Festival here in Newton, Central National Bank, the Carl Hodges family, Ray Roofing, Charleston Insurance Company, Realty Connections, Martin Fox, your local JP Winegate Realtor, CRM Lawn Care, Courtesy's Diner, Freddy's Frozen Custard, and Steak Burgers, Bumper to Bumper of Noon, and Papa John's Pizza. It's not too late to join our 2023 sponsorship team. Please see our GM, Mark Carvello, or email newtonsrebelbb@yahoo.com for more information. And it seems like...
And we'd be looking probably about a 9:15, 9:20 restart. It looks like you want to be done, according to the radar. You need to be done but before 10:30, a quarter of 11, because stuff, when it moves in, it looks like it will move in. So hopefully we're in the top of the 6th. We can get 3.5 innings done in, hopefully an hour and a half and be in front of that weather system. You hate to have to set back up and play, an inning or 2 to finish a game.
So far, it seems like total pitch count for both teams. Newton's at 88, and the Islanders, with Roberts still out there, is only thrown at 55 through 6.
Of course, you wonder with your pitchers that are in there, especially I would wonder with Hayesville, thinking ahead, Kingman's Roberts.
Yeah.
He's going to be, unless he's overthrowing somewhere, he's going to have to warm back up. You wonder if you would see them pull him and bring in somebody fresh, or if they'll try to get him warmed back up with 55 pitches. Same with Felix. Right now you're at the plate. If you're Newton, maybe you bring in somebody different for Felix when the home half of the 6th comes up. That's all decisions that they'll make here pretty shortly.
And this gives me some time to kind of talk about the live stream itself and how much I think it's improved. With, you know, you can see on the live stream the camera hasn't been the best, and you know, me and Mark have always been grateful for. Mark had a buddy that gave him a webcam to use for us, and it's been old reliable for us for the past season and a half so far, and with Carv's new job at Southwestern, he now has access to a bunch of Sony cameras that it's free for him to use. And with that, this either the 19th or today will be the last time we'll see the old handy Logitech webcam in use, and we'll head on to the Sony handy cams and other Sony cameras. And you know, we're just constantly improving every year. As today as well, Scott brought in one of his radio mixers. So now we can have if you guys haven't noticed yet, you can hear the cracks of the bat a lot clearer now, and player chatter and all this, thanks to his mixer. And it's great to see how far everything has, you know, come together. And it's definitely a great season so far, broadcasting wise. And I think with that, we'll take a quick break. Like we said, you can probably check back in around 9:20.
9:15, 9:20, yep.
9:20, and we'll give you an update around there. But I think for now, we'll take a quick, or not a quick break, but we'll take a break. And we'll just see what's going on and update you throughout. So with that, your score so far is right now Islanders 5, Rebels 3, bottom of the 6th with only one out. And with that, we'll take a quick break, and we'll be back with more information. And welcome back to the Sluggin Rebels broadcast. And we just got news a couple minutes ago that they are going to call the game. There's been a little rain, and we're in a severe thunderstorm watch right now. And so the game is going to end. It's going to be counted as a complete game. The score was 5-3, and since we were in the bottom of the 6th inning, they kind of just wiped the top of the 5th or top of the 6th right there. So Sky is going to have all the totals, and we'll have the Bethel Player to College announcement after, but we're not going to have an interview.
Yeah, the game actually reverts back to when the 5th inning ended for your official totals, and that game would end as a 5-3 win for Kingman. So Kingman ended up getting 5 runs on 6 hits. They committed 1 error and stranded 6. So Xander Roberts' pitching numbers through 5 innings. He gave up 3 runs on 5 hits, didn't strike anybody out, and just walked 1 batter. For the Rebels, 3 runs came on 5 hits. They committed 3 errors and left 2 on. Jared Newton went 4 1/3. He gave up 5 runs on 6 hits. He walked 5 and struck out 2. And Dominic Felix will only get credit for 2/3 of an inning.
Yep.
And he no runs, no hits. He walked 2 and struck out 1. So again tonight, the 7 walks, 3 errors, and 5 innings really, of course, going to hurt your cause any night. But it hurt the Rebels again this evening. Your bright spot is our player of the game. Our Bethel College player of the game is going to be Antonio Avila, the left fielder, batting in the 9-hole. He singled and doubled in the ball game, so he was 2 for 2 and had 1 run scored. So he'll be getting that Sonic $10 gift card for being our Bethel College player of the game tonight.
And with that, this will be Jared Obleckner and Scott Hogan saying goodnight from Klein Scott Field in Newton, Kansas. Your final score tonight was Sluggin Rebels 3 and the Kingman Islanders at 5. The Sluggin Rebels would like to take a minute to thank the 2023 partners and sponsors. Without their support, college baseball would not be here in Newton, Kansas. Thank you to the Colonel Tim Mahler family, Pizza of Newton, Midway Motors, Bethel College, John Oldham family, Armored Coatings of Wichita Inc., Sand Creek Summer Days Festival hosted here in Newton, Kansas, Central National Bank, the Carl Hodges family, Ray Roofing, Charleston Insurance Company, Realty Connections, Mark Fox, your local JP Wingate Realtor, CRM Lawn Care, Courtesy's Diner, Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers, Bumper to Bumper of Newton, and Papa John's Pizza. It's not too late to join our 2023 sponsor team. Please seek our GM Mark Cavello or email NewtonRebelsBB@yahoo.com for more information. Special thank you to all of our host families in Newton and in Wichita for opening up their homes and hearts to these college baseball players for the summer. They also announced that the 2024 hosting season is already opened for next year. But tonight's game has been a production of Sluggin Rebels Baseball. On behalf of the entire Sluggin Rebels staff, we thank you for watching tonight's game and invite you back Monday night, June 19th, when your Sluggin Rebels take on the Hayesville Aviators. Game time is always at 7 p.m. Thank you and good night from Newton, Kansas.